The numbers game, very easy game of just using a deck of cards. You put value. You put a value on top, and you treat that person based off the value on there. And
so like
two would be
the low,
king, queen, and you treat them with the utmost respect. Compliments versus people with a low value. You like the way I did it with Fanbiz before was to kind of like people who were on their high horses to kind of get to humble them, that kind of stuff, and then also test of character, who really treats a person equal regarding their value. I say the rules, but I'm like, you ultimately make the decisions. I know, Kat, you had a unique experience that I've never had happen. If you would like to share.
Yeah, of course. So when he was explaining the rules of the game, I already was starting to think like, oh no. And my face even showed that. I was like, oh no. Oh no. And as we were giving the cards, I already felt my body start shaking. My eyes started watering and tearing up. And I was jokingly saying, trying to get myself out of that mode where you're like, oh, watch me get a 2, ha ha ha. But as soon as we put the values on the card, I already felt my hands started shaking really badly. And one of my group mates came, as we started the game, looked at me and was like, oh, I feel sorry for you. And I know they did not mean it in like that way, because it's just the exercise, but I immediately ran to the bathroom because I was like, I can't play this. And I was in the middle of almost having a panic attack. Emeroy came and calmed me down, was just talking to me, and it was weird because I never thought I was going to react like that. I've never had a reaction that quick and that strong to an exercise or something like that before, so just hit me hard. When we came back and we were talking about how we felt about the number or the value game, I was explaining why I reacted the way I did. And it was hard because I was still crying. I was still having trouble breathing because I was just like, it was hard for me because I grew up not having value in myself. I only gave myself value to what other people gave me. I never gave myself value. And I always make self-deprecating jokes, be like, fuck me, this is not good, I can't do this shit, as a way to cope. But on the real side of it, it's like I don't have the greatest value. I don't see myself having value, and that's where I reacted that way, because I don't want to be treated the way I did. I don't want others to be treated the way I did growing up. So just the thought of being mean to someone in that way and treating them like they had low value, I couldn't do it. And I know it was just an exercise, and I know that, I know that you guys talk to me, it's like, it's not stupid to have the reaction, it's not stupid to have a trigger like that. Because at first I was embarrassed because I was like, no one else reacted this way. No one else had this kind of reaction. Like, why can I handle it? But Lauren, Jamie, they all like reassured me, like, yes, my emotions are valid. Also, I grew up like saying emotions are valid for everyone but me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So a lot of times, like, I also very bad self-esteem about like my body image and all that, and be like, you can look whatever way you want and you're beautiful. I have to look a certain way to be beautiful. So that's something I still deal with and I'm still working on. So like, just the thought of treating someone with a low value, I couldn't play the game.
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
Yeah, and that's totally understandable. And I think it was a great example of triggers, right? Like triggers and things that you don't know why or how, because you didn't expect that to happen. You're like, wait, I don't even understand why this is happening to me, but it's happening to me, you know? So it's like, I think as we go through life, you experience things and you come across things that set off a trigger. And I think as your due diligence is to figure out why, is to dig deeper. Okay, that's a soft spot. Why is that a soft spot? Okay, let's see. Oh, it might be connected to blank and blank and blank, and then really kind of address those things. Like I said, I'm super stubborn. At times can be like, nope, nah, I'm not going to do this because I don't like digging into my emotions, but I had to dig into my emotions to actually say like what I said about my trauma, right? it took me years, like at least 5+ years, to even verbally out loud say, I was physically abused. I was emotionally abused. Because I'm like, that's not what emotional abuse is, right? You know,
Mm.
although I did have like a bruise on my arm when I got thrown against the wall, like, that's not physical abuse because it wasn't like a punch, right? You know, so it's like coming to terms with what it is a totally different thing, you know, and speaking it out loud is a totally different thing. So first off, props to you,
Mhm.
you know, for acknowledging that and saying it, because you could have just been like, I'm done, goodbye, I don't want to talk to anybody, I'm shutting down. But you came back, and even right now you said like, look, I was still crying, but I was talking about why
Yeah.
you left. That's like growth in itself, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it takes somebody who's strong enough to actually say, this is this. I'm gonna call it what it is, and I'm gonna say it out loud in front of people, you know, to really show who you are. So props on that to
Yeah.
you.
And to add to that, on a facilitator standpoint, as like some people, well, first off, I acknowledge that I appreciate your honesty and where you were, and then how you didn't want to participate, and it was cool. And then I gave you the option, like, okay, if you want to play the next round, it's fine. Whether you do it or not, just where you are is perfect. It's it's simply a reflection of where you are, and it's not right or wrong. It's just perfect. And then gave you the option to come back or not. And I know some people who, at least from my past experience, some people would try to force people back into the game,
Mm-hmm.
and that would just make it worse. I feel
Mhm.
like. So I gave Kat that option, and then when you did right.
Yeah.
Decided
Mhm.
to come back in, and I give you a lot of props for that, because going from that, addressing that trigger and feeling, and then deciding to come back in and just to play the game and continue with us is just. I find that courageous, and I think that
Mhm.
a lot of people misunderstand what bravery or courage is the lack of fear, which is more it's embracing it and just going with it.